Pan. Tilt. Truck. Truck. Dolly. Dutch. See if we can go live on IG. What's up, folks? Super 8 camera. Alright, let's try this out. Checking connection. Now you are live. Checking connection. It is stalled. That is okay. That is okay. That is okay if it's stalled today. It is live on the television. Live on the television. And that's all that matters. This is Super 8. Super 8. I cannot see myself in the stalled feed, which is, it's all good though, because guys, this is supposed to happen. This is supposed to happen because this is a clean show. 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 Yes, let's end that now, because it's a clean show. I'm going to delete that. Delete it. Delete it. Delete it. Delete it. Delete it. Delete it. Ooh, I'm getting all these notifications. 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 Notification. Notification. Shout out. Shout out. Shout out. Shout out. Mr. Lopez. Shout out. Shout out. Shout out. Shout out. Shout out to Tappa Film. Shout out to the real Kalia. Shout out to my hair that's all messy. Shout out. Don't want to mess up the feed too much. I want to have a nice smooth stream. Let's see how this goes today, folks. Let's see how this goes. Whoa, look at that. Woo! Little brush stroke. A little brush stroke off the ear. A little brush stroke. Stroking it. Hey, stroking that brush stroke of the hair. Yeah. It's getting long. Wicked long. Gotta work on that, folks. Look at how long that, like, weird mullet is. Oh my god. Everyone out there, I'm sure, needs a haircut. Everyone needs to, check their hairlines and all that stuff. We're going to work on that. We're going to work on all this, right? Going to work on ourselves. We're going to work on improving all the time. What's up, folks? It's the real Marcoux. How you doing this morning? It's nice to see you. If you're on the live stream, you're seeing a little bit of a cropped Bolex, aren't you? Little cropped. Let's see if we can get that in there, because I really wanted to have the clean show, right? And we'll see if that's even going to happen. But yeah, welcome, folks. This is the real Marcoux, sponsored by Tappa Film Production House, and we really appreciate you joining us today. We have an excellent connection so far, so good. I managed to get down to my basement. I did some crazy stuff. I ran the wire all the way up to my room, so right now I have a hard wire. We'll see how that works. Still a little tenuous about that. I think I might just need faster speeds on the internet zone, but we're giving it a shot. We're trying it out, and we're certainly no shortages here, folks. No shortages, no discrepancy at all. I have no one join the feed, but I'm looking for my homies to join me to see how this is working and stuff like that, because I do want to improve it. We will be going into Q4 rather soon, and I look forward to seeing how we can improve the show and make it at least a little bit more interactive, or how we can try to break this thing a little bit more so we can learn things. That's always a fantastic thing. Yeah, so this was one of my original pieces. when I was out there looking for some toilet paper for my family, and most of the most of the shelves are bare out there. You got to give it a shot though. And just playing around with a little pinch and pull on the iPhone, and then doing screenshots at the same time. So you need like three arms to do that. But with long fingers like I have, you can kind of work that phone and then book and take that shot, and then maybe take a screenshot of that shot when you do another pinch, or find a transitionary point and try to um, work that out. Just playing around, always fun to experiment with different techniques. I told you guys about the real distant collage, and here's my real distant collage just building together. Right here, you have the real distant project 3, and you have the real distant blue zone, and the real distant tease, right? And then there was a real distant April Fool's joke that Juna had played on me when she woke up. Yo, shout out to the real Love Thy Job. Welcome, welcome, welcome to, oh boy, hopefully today's a little bit better. Yesterday was the train wreck show. I had a nice little train wreck show song that went halfway in between. I did a crit twice, just so I could get it live so kids could hear. And what was fantastic was that out of that actually got a lot of views, and there was a really neat maniacal song in the middle that I was singing to myself as I was trying to figure things out. So really, you're joining the journey of me figuring this stuff out so we can get it better, and so we can have the ultimate, 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 ultimate stream that we can multicast or simulcast on various platforms and make quite possibly the biggest live simulcast thing that we can accomplish, potentially for Arts Fest, potentially for a number of wonderful performances that we do not want to miss out, because you guys are very engaged in getting your work done. And I appreciate it. And I want to showcase it and see about innovative ways of showcasing it. So if you're paying attention, try some stuff out, test some stuff out, see what goes on when you push your streams, when you push your image making, when you take a shot. Try doing that same shot with an angle. You can see if you check out my IG profile, I put on a few texture pieces because I feel like we haven't gone into texture. And my daughter and I were a little bored. It was actually inspired by, shout out to the real Kalia, who had said, oh, I'm bored. So she did this wonderful collage, manual collage with real pictures on a poster board, pasted them all together, put them together, and it inspired me. I was like, yo, the real Kalia, really big shout out to you, inspiring me to think about the boredom factor and trying to build on that. And my daughter and I were drawing on chalk on cement and came out with some pretty neat shots. So put those up there just to give you guys a little different thing to look at. First I shot it very two-dimensionally, straight up and down, and then I got into some of the other chalk street art and got an angle on it, and played around with the shadows. And I really like when I could see angles happening, angles that I might be able to work out with some of these geometry skills that you're building, how to figure out angles of shadows and such. Could be a phenomenal way. We always love to see arts integration here at Tappa, and particularly all you guys out there are always showing us how to teach it even better. Hopefully, we're trying to improve. We're working on it, folks. But yeah, welcome to the real Marcoux. If you're just tuning in, not many backwards riptas yesterday. In fact, very little, because I was just dealing with a lot of computer issues. But I've been playing around with this format and I've been doing a lot of researching. Yesterday I was checking out some other streaming folks that have a lot of hits, and typically gamers. It's interesting because a lot of them will just sit there. Hey, I'm looking for attention. Hey, ask me a question. Hey, who wants this special giveaway? They say this over and over and over again. They're looking to try to get some engagement. Engagement means hits. Engagement means subscribers. Engagement means potentially monetizing your platform at some point. And, there's no right way to do it. In fact, we're creating that as we go. This program in particular, as I've told you many times, is pre-pro. Just started as I started the show, so we're flying the plane as we sink it, and all that stuff I always say. That building into some sort of brand, some sort of kind of like a fake brand in a way, the real. However, it's a really good way of keeping us all together in some kind of grand collaborative online to try to like kind of push the algorithms in a different direction. Who knows? We'll see. I don't know. Break the AI, folks. Break the AI. That is our benefit. Once in a while we think about all these auto functions, and I always talk about how we can break them, right? Whether we take a white piece of paper and I put it up, you can see the auto exposure is trying to compensate for that, right? By making everything a little darker because it's seeing white. So it's saying, oh, this is too bright, so I'm going to make the image darker. However, if I put a darker piece up here, it's going to see how it's trying to get brighter because it says, oh, the majority of the frame is dark right now. So I'm going to do a backwards Panasonic and light your frame. So oftentimes if you have like really dark things in your images, it's going to make the image want to compensate and become brighter. So all these auto functions in the camera, gain, aperture, shutter, they're all going to like really push to the open side of things, potentially adding too much grain, potentially adding too much shallow depth of field, which makes it difficult to focus. So think about the way auto function in your camera is messing with your image and how you can mess with auto function to get what you want. I've seen some excellent transitionary stuff occur that I was very excited about. Oh, hello? Oh, Viking dude, how you doing? Nice to see Viking dude. As you can see my little strip of paper. The trick isn't really working that well today, but I take a little strip of paper and I can kind of drag him around. It's kind of neat. Yesterday he suffered a broken foot, but we glued him back together and how you feeling, Mr. Viking dude? I'm feeling just fine. Thank you very much. Thanks for fixing my foot. Well, you're welcome, Mr. Viking dude. I really appreciate you, bro. Anyways, going into it a little bit, we had some wonderful pieces come in overnight. Oh, I'm hearing cell phones, which means that's probably going to break my connection. But we'll see. We're going to give it a shot, folks. Going down the line, I'd like to see some other pieces. Actually, before we get into it too much, maybe I'll show you a little bit of my reel. So this is my sort of professional reel that I post, and I usually send it to potential clients. But I thought it was pretty neat. Maybe I'll give you guys a shot to see what you think about this. Oh, well, that's fun. Okay, we'll give that a shot. All right, let me turn it down so it doesn't blast your ears out. emotional watching that piece. I just saw my late mother-in-law. Um, Shout out to the real Lynn Kemp. I know you're watching us, and I know you're proud. Um, Anyways, yeah, that was my reel. That was a little reel. I try to do a reel every year. It's something that can hopefully potentially get more work. I'm always trying to showcase that, I can capture pretty damn good image, I think. I work really hard to try to get that cleanliness, to try to capture imagery in a different fashion, to try to do things that are a little different than what the trends are nowadays, to break it up and try to stand out a little bit. Um, but anyways, that's the type of material that you send to certain companies to try to get work out there, because it's important to build your portfolios, and that's why I assigned the real distant portfolios. That way, hopefully, you guys can really think about the stuff that you're building. I want you to think about what you're concentrating on as an artist. I want you to think about, am I focusing on angles? Have I been really focusing on the video side of things? Do I want to engage this crazy streaming technology and show the real Marcoux what's up? Please do. Please show me up. And I'll definitely stream your stuff and give you subs and likes. But yeah, feel free to, as we go along here, to chime in on the chat, whether it be over here on the IG or over there on the YouTube. We would love to hear your feedback, so we can improve. For Wait for it, it's coming. Season 2. Season 2. I'm not going to make you wait too long. In fact, I'm interested in anybody's critique, or if you have any valuable suggestions towards what the next iteration of this program may be, because I do want to make it valuable for you guys, and I hopefully will do some more tutorials for you guys based on what you have. That's why I'm trying to work with limited material, so we could see that it can be done. Anybody can take that angled shot of some beautiful texture and make it seem larger than life. A little bit of a melancholy Marcoux this morning. Things have really, it's been a wild ride lately. Show you guys a little bit of some time lapses going here. I like to, sometimes when I get bored, I'll go outside and I'll take shots of the night sky and time lapse them. Some of you guys might have a time lapse feature in your phone or a slow motion feature in your phone. I encourage you guys to toy around with that a little bit, and again, see if you could break it. The time lapse feature can be really helpful for pixelation or animation. You just got to time it really well, because it's going to take a shot every like 10 seconds or so. So you just got to be on top of your game as far as like timing it well. But yeah, time lapse can be a very fun activity to engage. Also, think about maybe doing shadow puppets. This is something that I thought was pretty neat. And let's see if I can get it going here. This was at the RISD Museum, and basically if you take some kind of opaque paper or a sheet and put a light behind it, a flashlight or something, and you get some sticks and do some cutouts, you can have a fun little shadow puppet show. No need for a code switch there. And yeah, I thought this was really cute, a lot of fun. Again, I'm exposing kind of for the middle ground, so that way my brights aren't too bright and my darks aren't grainy. And then I color graded this. If you guys are interested, I'll go into some more advanced stuff, particularly logarithmic profiles, which is a whole nother world of color correction that can make a really creamy image. Yeah, but we put together our portfolio. I look forward to seeing your portfolios put together, because we are going to go into the next stage in Q4. And I just want to send a message out to those miners. Feel free. You are part of our community now. So, feel free to create your own hashtag, the real distant something, and we'll build on that, So, and you are part of our community, and we see you. We want you to stay involved. And use this time wisely. We have this introverted time. If anybody could tell me what that bottom left element is, a graphic element down there on the bottom left, bonus points if you could tell me what that is or what it's called in the terms we've been going over it a lot. gotta go out with a bang tomorrow, folks. We gotta definitely do this right, because we got the season one finale that's wrapping up. I did want to get into actually a wonderful piece sent in to me by the real Chelsea. Shout out to the real Chelsea. Created this wonderful piece. So let's see what she has going over here. Oh, I keep hitting the right button. It's not the wrong button. It's the right button. This is a clean show, folks. So see how she's using right there that breaking the auto function, right? The camera wants to go. See it, the camera automatically exposes for the shot outside, then it exposes for the darkness, which is the drapery, which makes actually a nice a dip to white transition. So you can break these auto functions to kind of create your own inner transitions, and make sure that you keep the originals of these shots as well, so that way later on when we do have access to an editor, you could build and bring these pieces together and create something quite poetic about your journey that you're going through your eyes. I try not to make assignments that are too concerned with the crisis that's going on right now, because I really want you guys to be like, have an escape from the trauma and the difficulty that is this um few weeks. I want you to have the chance to like think outside the box and maybe not think about the difficulties, and maybe just look at the beautiful things in life that are around you that give you a reason to be here. There's such amazing things. Like the other day, I saw a leaf left over a leaf that was just kind of blowing through my yard, and just appreciating the kind of ballet that was occurring there with this leaf being tossed around by the wind. um, it's the little things in life that really can make you feel good. But, going forward, I had this wonderful thing. I created the Raiden bar. I thought that was cool. It's also one of those elements that I just talked about that was in the bottom left. So kind of working on creating some graphic packages stuff. Learn the English, Marcoux, working on it. Yeah, so some wonderful work. Did want to get into some of the pieces that gonna have to make it look kind of ugly for a moment, but we'll see about that. Oh yeah, we had a wonderful piece came in. Shout out to the real Pat F. Really like this piece that he's working on. So he's been building towards the senior project, and he's getting these really nice point of view shots. Love how this shot just kind of slowly creeps in on this controller. Really wonderful piece. So just like, kind of like that slight creep. A little goes a long way. Subtle movements I find can be the most advanced and can be show a good sense of control. I love it when someone just kind of slows down and is able to really kind of like feel their motion going out. Hey, shout out to the real Cece. I see you. Great job, Cece. You've been putting together some great work. I just wanted to give a real quick shout out to the real Kalia. So this was the real Kalia's real distant. I called it hashtag the real distant vision. She sent this to me, and I was like, yo, I was thinking the real distant boredom or the real distant boredom, but it kind of felt a little bit like blah. It felt a little bit like, I don't want people aren't going to watch something that's called boredom. So I was like, the real distant vision. She said she was bored. She just wanted to take a shot. So I think this was excellent. Feel free in your collages to do something that's more manual. I always love it when we break out of auto function, we break into manual. Be a manual person, because those are the skills that make us. See, I put a in there by accident. Manual skills are those skills that are speaking are our value towards the filmmaking experience, because everyone nowadays thinks that, oh yeah, I can just like plug in this and plug in that, and oh wow, I use this app, and it really is cheaper than that freelance cinematographer. Well, when they realize all the stuff is out of focus and their auto function is tweaking their brain, it really helps to have some manual hands on that focus. So I encourage you to continue to try to break those auto functions. That way we can be more valuable than an AI. Anyways, great job, the real Kalia. I just want to shout out also the real McKenna. Put together her real distant collage. Just took a screenshot of her page, and that's totally acceptable. I love seeing you guys do these kind of scrappy digital collages together. That's really fantastic. So, anyways, moving forward, I did want to, since I have the real CC here, I'd love to get some of your work in here. Let's see if we could showcase a little bit of the real CC. Yeah, you can see my files over here. It's a little ugly, but you know, this is what I'm going through live, right? Let's go to the real Ciliana. Oh man, I really like your work. Oh, that was funny. You did a little shot out of the real, what do you call it? The real 70s show. And then you had some excellent material that you've built together. Really focused on your sister or your cousin. And, you know, if you have a subject that becomes sort of your muse, right? Somebody that inspires you, go with it. You know, I noticed the real Kalia really focusing on your husky. So I really enjoy seeing those pieces, and it tells a story through the body of work. So really think about that, because that's something that we're going to be investigating in Q4 season 2. All right, so really think about, hey, the Real You set, one of the staples of this program. Shout out to you, the Real You set. And again, I just always need to show this shot because this is such a, ooh, makes you feel so warm inside. And make sure you get outside today because it is looking like a pretty decent day. But the real CC, shout out to you in this shot, this one shot that manages to really share with us like almost like a movie within one shot. So I really enjoy looking at this. I love how the reflection of the sky goes to the hood. I love how the roads are rather vacant. It's like the beginning of a epic film. Focus on those sunsets, peeps, because Rhode Island has some of the best sunsets, best sunrises. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the angle in which the sun is pointing at us from as we spin on this globe of something. Sure is spinning. Which direction? I don't know. I think it's spinning in a really fantastic direction. In fact, you know, here we are in this grand old universe, and look at the amazing things that we're able to create. Oh boy, a little tired today. Hey, you know what? I pulled out, instead of pulling out a backwards puller, I pulled out a backwards coffee this morning because I felt like it was an interesting prop that's a little bit formalized with these daytime morning shows. You know, they always have their sip of coffee that they can, you know, use as a segue of some sort when they're trying to think about the next step of their journey. Coffee's cold. That was a bad performance, Marcoux, because you can see my little bit of a smirk there. So I was like, this is so funny, but it's not funny, right? So I got to work on that. Anyways, I really like this. Nice little flower that Lenora picked for me. Play with forced perspective, folks. Forced perspective, it can be a fun way to play with these images. You know, we don't have the best gear sometimes, but it's all about the perspective. It's all about like what you do with what you have. That can really make a positive image. Right now it's interesting because it's not focusing on the flower. Well, let's see if we can get it to focus on the flower. Try. Well, we're trying to break the auto function. That's okay. Forced perspective can be a fun way of making, oh, now I have a flower hat. Maybe I have a flower eye. I get it to follow me around. Ooh, I see you. Kind of neat. Kind of neat little toy. Forced perspective, you see people all the time. They go to France and they put their finger on the top of the Eiffel Tower. They're standing really close to the camera. A lot of these skills were used, in fact, in the Lord of the Rings. You see how they made Frodo seem smaller than Gandalf. Well, that was forced perspective. It wasn't any digital effects. They would actually have Frodo a little closer to the camera and staring at a wall, while Gandalf was like 10 feet back staring at another wall, pretending that those walls were the person they were talking to. But their eye line matched up. So like if I talk to Centaur right now, how you doing, Mr. Centaur? And Centaur's talking to me. Well, in fact, Centaur is like 3 feet back. So are you sure about that, Mark? Yeah? Okay. So a little forced perspective can be fun to play with these smaller form cameras. Also, another thing that's nice about working with these smaller form cameras is that you can test things out like a storyboard. So when you do get that access to that really nice camera, you kind of have all these like tools in your mental toolbox to really make it shine. And when something happens, remember content is queen. It is you have all these experiences from messing up the shots to make a nice image. So I just encourage you guys to practice. Ooh, yeah, I love this piece, CC. This was really fantastic. Well, TikTok. Like I should. When in circle, walk around the neighborhood. Woo! Yeah. Using a little TikTok effect, I encourage you guys to utilize different things that you have available to you and try to break them. I find this is interesting because it takes me out of the TikTok illusion and brings me into, well, how does CC break the fake TikTok? It's not real. Oh, burn. Backwards are in the place to be. Oh, yeah, so I don't know, guys. Whenever I have these melancholy shows, they're a little smoother. We'll see how soon this crashes. Yeah, it's fantastic. We really didn't show many of the senior work. They kind of jumped on the bandwagon a little late because I was trying to get them to do their senior films first up, and then I realized you guys need a little bit more engagement, so brought them into the picture. But yeah, going back to the real Patrick F., you had some fantastic work. I gotta say, I really like this piece. Recycle, folks. No, for me today was trash day. It's weird to me that, the recycling only comes once every 2 weeks, but trash is every week. I don't know. I think we should do vice versa. But that's a little of my opinion. What are you gonna do? Yo, I gotta say, a little melancholy on the real Marcoux episode 12. This is the finale series. Hopefully we'll have some really cool stuff planned for tomorrow. I'd love to see some people try to play around with me a little bit on the Instagram or something like that. Give me some suggestions, ask me some requests. I'm glad to see what I can do. I'm not gonna get Viking Dude to flip after he hurt his foot yesterday. He's got to recover a little bit. What do you think, Mr. Viking Dude? I think that's very wonderful. Well, I really appreciate your crit the other day for the real Caden, too. That was quite miraculous. Thank you. I try. Trying to play a little bit with the Force perspective. Have fun every now and then. We got the real Jonathan. He makes some really wonderful work. I really like his pieces. So he's been doing this wonderful series. You get a real sense of like kind of what we're going through here. I love how the way that you picked an angle on the glass, so you see the sort of warped features of that glass form. It's really neat. So wonderful work there. Also, I look forward to seeing some more of your pieces because one of the things I had fun with yesterday, even though it was a little broken up, was reaction videos. So I like watching your pieces, and you can get a chance to see me react to your work, but they're authentic. Trust me. Authentic, real stuff. Working on it. Yo, but yeah, the real Jonathan doing some wonderful work. I really liked your Blue Zone attempt that was really working towards some cubism. This one's a little vertical right now, but it's actually a horizontal pick. But it's neat seeing it on this angle because you really get the sense of that cubism I was talking about earlier. I think it was like episode 7 or 8 or one of those. But I love it when you take three-dimensional elements and you break up the frames that way you're creating these angles that has kind of a two-dimensional element to it, and the reflections really set it off too. Again, always sponsored by Nike over here at Backwards Nike. Nice tilt up. Well, not tilt up, more of like a pedestal up. When you physically move the camera up, that's a pedestal. When you're moving from the tripod, that will be a tilt. So tilt, pedestal, pan, truck, zoom, from the tripod, dolly, physically moving the camera. And my favorite, roll to a Dutch, roll to a Dutch, roll to a Dutch. A lot of fun. I got to give a shout out again to the Real Ray. Real Ray's really rocking it over here. Reality TV. Big shout out to those folks. Always doing some fantastic work. I really like this piece. You're kind of playing with the blinds over here, and you can see how that auto exposure compensates and then tries to come back. Actually, it looks like you fixed it, so it's just bright and blown out. Really fantastic work right there. So moving forward, we got another look. Those recycling bins, like I was talking about before, recycle, folks. We got to work on that. Nice little piece over here where he shows the kind of plant. You know, it does a little handheld camera movement. Good way to explore handheld camera movement. It's interesting. We got the little baby plant. We got the mommy plant, kind of. So really nice job there. And big shout out to you with your huge accolades with the C-SPAN. And this is a Gimme 5 award. Shout out to the real Gimme 5. Got to give you guys big love. Shout out the real Gimme 5. If you want to make films in a day, you want to make them fantastic, join us next year. We're going to have some excellent workshops, I'm sure, when we get the steering committee together. We always look forward to your feedback. Tell us how we can make better film making projects for you. Guys, we have an excellent stream today. Very melancholy, not very entertaining, but you know what? It's a smooth stream, so I gotta love it. Maybe that hardwire is actually working. We would love that. Oh, little whining in the background. Sorry about that, folks. Let's see. Yeah, you guys have some great work. So I am consolidating all your stuff and bringing it all together. Really appreciate all the stuff that I'm seeing. When I have this downtime, you know, you hear me sing to myself and weird things. It's just a way to try to keep you guys moving because, like I said, I've been looking at those other streams and people literally sit. They're like, tell me something. And then they sit. And yeah, it's great on their bandwidth, you know, they're not breaking their internet like Marcoux is all the time, but, you know, they're just sitting, you know, there's like blank sound, and people are probably skipping along that stream, so every now and then I just try to keep things moving with my voice, whether it be just random stuff or little glitches or things like that, just so it keeps it engaging, keeps like something in your head. So if you are watching this for an extended period of time, watching something else or doing your homework or something like that, at least you could see that this is still rolling, right? So I encourage all those streamers out there, if you're doing gaming and stuff like that, to try to come up with some creative ways to fill up that dead space, because it may be more interesting than just staring at your ceiling in your eyeballs. Eyeballs are fun. I get really bored. I start to just play around with the mirror effect and see if I can look at the camera lens, know where your camera lens is, know where the L is. You know, you work with some talent, they'll be like, where do you want me to look? Do you want me to look at the L? That means the lens. So, oh man, not looking good today, Marcoux. Ooh, worn. Worked out this like real bandana thing, and I'm not trying to make a statement or anything. I'm just like trying to cover up all the lines on my forehead and stuff like that, so I can actually look at it and it looks a little decent. Plus, it's kind of built into the visual branding, the visual format that you see, so you know it's consistent. You know what to expect. You know, look forward to season 2, where we might even break this format completely and maybe do something totally different. But interested to hear your thoughts on that. Notice my composition has switched up a little bit. I put the keyboard here because I feel like it's like a leading lines that bring you into the composition, maybe a little bit more engaging of a foreground. I've left this kind of headroom right here because I do like the place where I can kind of like move in, move out, and it's not distracted. Kind of tilted Mark over a little bit so I wasn't like eating him as I talked. You know, another thing I thought was, ooh, it would be so interesting if I spun this reel all the time, so that way if I sped this stuff up, you would see this wheel constantly moving, right? I was thinking about kind of like moving him one by one every day, so that way like you see a sped up version of me, and then maybe this guy's like slowly crawling up this reel or something like that. But you know, always thinking about different ways that you can innovate and toy with your predicament. At one point I put the real snake up here. It's kind of like a hidden element, so having little things of interest where we're not just showing a ceiling. In fact, if you guys are out there doing Zoom calls and you're pointing the camera at the ceiling, put something on your ceiling so at least we have something to watch. Or I find I join a lot of Zoom meetings sometimes, and it becomes so exhausting after a while because you're just looking at talking heads, right? So sometimes it's fun to have like I noticed, shout out to the real um, the real shout out to Daniel E. White and what they're doing at BYOI. Bring Your Own Improv has done some fantastic things with their streams, and they play around with the green screen effect on the Zoom. So, always push yourself and stuff to try to make something a little bit broken up. Even in meetings the other day, I put on the Talking Heads, which is a musical band. Actually, they went to Rhode Island School of Design. And I just played the music in the background to try to show that stuff. Or sometimes I just like bring Viking Dude into my conference calls with me. It just breaks it up a little bit more interest to look at. Get really tired of looking at people just being like, again, so it's a tricky thing about this thing, where this is a media literacy experiment in many regards as well. So, just it doesn't really brighten anyone's day to see, people are, so it's like, break it up a little bit. I even considered maybe making a Marcoux mask for myself that I could just like put on that was like me smiling. So I was in a bad mood, I could just put the smiling Marcoux on my face, and no, my exhaustion and maybe at the particular time my like, yeah, exhaustion isn't being represented. You're always showing your best side, but it's good to be honest too. It's good to be honest with your viewership. That way you build in a little trust. Do not like the lighting. A little shimmery. What can I say? I don't have a face made for TV. Try to keep spinning this hat so I get a little bit more light on my face, but it's turning out to be really more shimmery. See if maybe like when we keep spinning my hat, maybe maybe I could speed this up later and it'll look like my hat is spinning. If I speed it up later, it might look like my hat is spinning on my head. And the time-lapse function can be a lot of fun to play with. So I just move it frame by frame. Maybe at the same time he's moving out. Right. So the Viking dude has left. My hat is still spinning. Oh, he's coming back. Tedious animation. But if you get a good system for it, starts work. I do not want to break him again, so I'm going to push him back. He's just going to be bouncing in and out. You can see my trick, the strip of paper. Move him out. Okay. Just experimenting, folks. Might as well, the stream's working. Stop jinxing yourself, real Marcoux. The real jinx about to drop you. Haha. Like clockwork. That's the end of the stream, folks. Tune in tomorrow for the grand finale of Season 1. Look forward to seeing your real distant portfolios. Great job, team. Tap of Film. Doing amazing work. See ya.